Did you know that you can sublimate on colored surfaces as well as white surfaces? Now, the colors will affect your design, but in surprising ways. Hello, everybody. Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to sublimate some positive affirmations onto these colorful glitter tumblers. Now, usually when we make a sublimation project, we start with a white blank. That's because sublimation ink is translucent, and the colors will show up best on a white background. But what happens when you have colorful blanks, like these glitter tumblers? The design's colors interact with your blank to make new colors, is what happens. To show you how this all works and give you some helpful pointers when choosing the right colors for your blanks, we're going to make some fun tumblers with different colors to see how the ink and the base colors interact. To make these tumblers, you'll need a few sublimation supplies, including a sublimation printer with sublimation ink and a dedicated sublimation oven. Make sure you're not using your regular oven because the ink releases harmful fumes that you don't want in the meals that you prepare in your oven. We'll also be using shrink wrap sleeves and plenty of heat-resistant tape to make sure our designs transfer beautifully. For a full list of tools and supplies, plus links to everything in my materials list, head on over to jennifermaker.com/694. That's also where you'll find written instructions with helpful photos and tips. And of course, we need some designs to transfer to our tumblers so we can try out this technique. I have two designs for you today, one with some solid shapes and another with graffiti style art. So let me show you where to get these free files, and then we'll transfer beautiful and gorgeous sublimation ink. First, download the designs at jennifermaker.com/694. You can either download right from that link by saving the project or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 694 and click the link to download the designs. If you're not sure how to do any of this, visit jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip files. Once you've chosen a design, you'll need to pick a colored tumbler that will work well with it. You want to be able to show off your design, so choose a color that will let your colors shine through. Since your translucent ink blends with the blank's colors, a light colored tumbler works best here. Darker tumblers can cause your design's color to appear muted or darker, or to even disappear completely if that blank is black, for example. Also, consider how specific colors blend. Now, you probably know that mixing yellow and blue makes green. So a yellow shape on a blue tumbler will come out green too, just like this. And finally, when using a photo on a colored tumbler, keep in mind how the tumbler's color will affect the image. For example, on these tumblers featuring my dog Hunter's face, the white tumbler keeps the colors true, while the pink tumbler gives Hunter a noticeable pink tint. Be sure to consider this tint effect when choosing a colored blank for your photo designs. Now that we've chosen a color for our tumbler, let's measure the tumbler's design area. Take a looped measuring tape and feed the small end through the window like a belt, then put it around the tumbler. Carefully pull the tape's edges away from each other, keeping it straight and tight. The number at the arrows is your circumference and the wrap's width. Record this measurement. Then measure the tumbler's height to see how tall the wrap should be. If your tumbler is indented at the top and bottom, like the one in my shopping list, only measure the straight edge. Record this measurement as well. Next, we'll use Google Docs to print the design. It's free software and it works great. So open Google Docs in the Google Chrome web browser on your computer by going to jennifermaker.com/Google Docs. You can sign up for a free Google account to use the software if you don't already have one. You can also download and open the Google Docs app on a mobile device, but it has limited features and I don't recommend it. Click Blank Document at the top left to open a new document. Then go to the File menu and select Page Setup. Select the bubble next to Landscape to match the wrap's orientation. Then change your paper size to match your sublimation paper, and set the margins to 0 to use more of the page. And click OK to apply the settings. Then click the area that says Untitled Document at the top and type a name for the file. Go to the Insert menu, select Image, and select Upload from Computer. Select the sublimation design you want to use, then click Open. I'll use the graffiti design so we can see all the different color interactions. Then you'll want to click Image Options at the top. Select Size and Rotation, and keep the Lock Aspect Ratio box checked to maintain the design's proportions. Change the width field to match the tumbler's circumference. Mine is 8.9 inches, and the height field will automatically adjust proportionately. Click the image and select the Wrap text icon from the menu that appears below it so you can move the design anywhere on the page. Center the design so it won't get cut off at the edges during printing. Now go to the File menu and choose Print. Select your Sublimation printer under Destination, and then click the arrow beside More Settings and then click Print using System dialog. Your print menu may look different than mine. Just make sure the Sublimation printer that you're using is selected, that you are mirroring the print, and select the highest quality matte paper setting. If you're using a Sublimation printer that automatically mirrors for you, like an Epson F170, you don't have to mirror. Just keep that in mind. If you do not see a mirror image option, be sure your printer drivers and firmware are up to date, and then look again. If you still struggle, there's an alternate way of mirroring your image in Google Docs. Check the written instructions over on my blog for details. If you're using Windows, there isn't a mirror option here, so that's why we already flipped the design. Load your sublimation paper correctly into your sublimation printer according to the directions on the package. Then click Print. Allow the print to dry before handling it, as the ink can smear if you touch it too fast. Once it's dry, it's ready to sublimate. Now, the printed design will appear lighter before pressing, but don't worry, this is normal. Use a paper trimmer to cut away excess white paper on all four sides of the design. Careful, watch your fingers. Then use a lint-free cloth and rubbing alcohol to remove debris or skin oils from the tumbler and let it dry. Try not to touch your clean tumbler or the print to avoid a bad transfer. Now wrap the design around the tumbler with the ink facing in and with your print in the right orientation. You don't want anything upside down here. Align the trimmed top and bottom edges to ensure the design is straight and positioned on the tumbler's flat section. Lay the tumbler on its side and place a piece of heat-resistant tape securely on one seam near the middle. Don't let the tape touch the other side of the tumbler yet, though. Use one hand to hold the other edge tight against the tumbler. Pull the tape's loose section to secure the print as tight as possible to avoid wrinkles or air pockets. Then press the tape in place across the seam. Use short strips of heat-resistant tape on the print's top and bottom edges to pull the paper tight around the tumbler and secure it on the seam. Now apply a long piece of heat-resistant tape along the seam from top lip to bottom lip. Use your scraper to press the tape down tightly from the center outward to seal the seam. Add tape horizontally around the top and bottom edges of the wrap to finish securing the design. And use heat-resistant tape around the top and bottom lips of the tumbler to prevent the shrink wrap sleeve from sticking to the surface during heating. Now before sublimating, open a window and turn on your fan to improve your ventilation. Place a silicone baking mat onto the sublimation convection oven's wire tray to keep the tumbler from rolling. Place an oven thermometer in the center so you can make sure the temperature is correct. Then preheat your convection oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 182 degrees Celsius. If your tumbler is a different brand from the one in my shopping list, check the manufacturer's heating instructions to find the best temperature setting for your tumbler. Now grab a shrink wrap tube that is the right size for your tumbler and open it and pull it over your tumbler. Next, put on your heat-resistant gloves for protection. Turn your heat gun to a low setting and slowly heat the wrap until it conforms to the tumbler. Try not to focus your heat on one area for a long period of time because you want to avoid starting the sublimation process prematurely. Smooth out the majority of the wrinkles, but don't make the wrap too tight or it will pull apart in the oven. Once the wrap is ready, turn off your heat gun and allow the tumbler to cool before putting it in the oven. Once the tumbler is cool and the oven is at the correct temperature, lay the prepared tumbler horizontally on a silicone baking mat. Keep your gloves on, the oven is hot. Bake the tumbler for 6 minutes, rotating once halfway through with your gloves on for safety. You don't want to burn yourself, it'll be very hot. Rotating it halfway through like that will help even out the heat. After 6 minutes, the tumbler will be very hot. With your gloves on, carefully take it out of the oven and let it rest on a cooling rack for 1 to 2 minutes until it's safer to handle. While the tumbler is still warm, carefully peel away the shrink wrap, tape, and sublimation paper to reveal your awesome design. You now have a fun design sublimated on a colored tumbler. I used a yellow tumbler, so the orange and yellow spots turned out more vibrant. Some of the green and teal areas, however, have a brownish tint, but I love the way the colors blended together in the end. Would you like to make this tumbler but have more control over the colors? With my templates, you can customize your tumbler design to match your style using a special program called Advance over at jennifermaker.com/advance. The Advance program is designed to elevate your crafting skills by teaching you how to create unique and personalized designs through step-by-step workshops and templates. Members also gain access to my extensive library of designs, projects, and resources, as well as our fun member challenges. Enrollment may not always be open, but if you're interested, go to jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more. And here are all of the colored tumblers. Even though I used the same design for each one, the results were quite different. Lighter tumblers stayed closer to the true colors, but the darker tumblers led to some surprising color changes. It's fascinating to see how the tumbler's background color affects the final image. Plus, it's awesome to know that we can achieve vibrant sublimation on tumblers and colors other than just white, without any extra prep work for the blanks. The time and temperature settings I use today are what I found work best for these colored tumblers. But there are many other items that you can sublimate. If you are new to sublimation and not sure where to start, check out my sublimation cookbook at jennifermaker.com/sublimation cookbook to get time and temperature settings for tons of other sublimation blanks. And if you're interested in learning how to adjust your designs to achieve the look you want on colored blanks, don't forget to check out the Advanced program. You'll find lots of other tips and tricks to personalize your sublimation projects there as well. I also have a Facebook group just for sublimation, which is a great way to see all of the fun that you can have with it and all the amazing things you can make. Whether you're new to sublimation or not, come join us at jennifermaker.com/sublimation group. I'd love to have you come ask questions, share ideas, and get inspired. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.